going into Tosche Station to pick up some power converters.
Hello there. Welcome back to Tales from Tosche Station. And well, I did it again. Guys, I got a guest. Tony, StarWarsSith. What's up, dog? How
What's
you
up,
doing?
man? Good. How you doing?
Doing all right, dude. It's this one came along pretty quickly.
It
You
did.
messaged me. You messaged me probably right when I posted my video with Grayson from Mortis FM.
Yeah,
And I think this is the first time we've actually talked, isn't it?
it is.
I
Yeah, for
think
sure.
so.
In person. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I've told I've told Grayson this. I've told the guys that Beyond the Dune Sea.
Mm.
I was a fan of y'all's first, and watching you guys do your thing is what really got me to start putting content out.
Yeah.
So my thing is being able to work with you guys and call you guys friends. That really means a lot to me. So
No, that's awesome. That's great to hear that, and I'm glad you did start it too. Because like, yeah, we've been watching you, and I'm glad that you went from Spotify, now you're on YouTube. So just keep it going, man, for sure.
yeah, it's really surreal that I've started this and I actually want to re-record my first series that I did, my first What If series, and actually put it on YouTube because I know
Yeah.
that there's some audio issues with that. So
Hmm.
but anyways, that's not what we're here to talk about. I got a little off track. So uh we're here to talk about two things. First, the Acolyte trailer that came out,
Mm.
and then we're gonna get into our five favorite Star Wars memories. That's the main crux of the episode. But since that Acolyte trailer came out, Tony, let let's start riffing. What are your thoughts on it, man?
So I am satisfied with everything we got in it. I know not a lot of people are that excited or happy, but I'm
Hmm.
hyped. What I wanted in the trailer the most, I just wanted to see that Wookiee Jedi at least once in there, and I wanted to
Yeah,
see a red lightsaber. And boy, did we get that lightsaber at the end. So
that
I'm
was
yeah, that scene was crazy. Like catching the saber, and then the 8 Jedis light theirs, and then he does like a force push.
he's about to whoever that is about to
Yeah.
solo all it was eight, right? I was
8,
like
yeah, I paused
I
it and
tried
I
to pause it.
counted
Yeah,
I
yeah.
counted it. 8, there was 8 lightsabers and they all got blown away by whoever that was. So, I'm excited to learn more about that Sith and how they're so damn powerful. Like, I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
it's yeah, the thing that I was watching a breakdown before we started this, and I noticed there was I think that we might see Plo Koon in that group of people because there was a overhead shot of I think that same group of
Yeah.
Jedi, and and it he the guy that was doing the breakdown pointed out that one of Plo Koon's species
Bottom right. Yep.
was in the bottom right, and I didn't realize that they lived to be like 350 years or something like that. So it might be a young Plo Koon, but
Yeah, I saw that. My buddy Will from Diamond Figs, he sent that in
Diamond Figs, yeah,
our
yeah.
group chat. But he also said, or someone in there said that. So in Legends, his race could be like 300 years old. But I guess
Yeah.
in canon, his race is only like the lifespan of a human. So it's kind of
Hmm.
like, yeah. So it kind of throws a
Hmm.
curveball. Is it going to be
Yeah.
like Legends continuity where he could be 300 years? Then
Or
it
is it
could
going to
be
be
him, or
in
is it gonna be
canon?
canon
Yeah.
continuity? Yeah.
The
So
thing that I've been seeing multiple different reports today. I think IGN put something out that it's 100 to 200 years
yeah,
before.
the one that
So
I just saw was at
that's
100.
confusing.
Yeah,
Okay.
the one that I just saw said 100. I thought it got bumped up to 50, but for the longest, I've always been hearing 100, 100. So I think it
Hmm.
might be safe to say that it's 100 years before Phantom Menace.
Yeah, and that would unless I don't know my ages correctly, that should knock out that should just take Plagueis just out
Yeah,
of it because he'll be I mean, he would be alive right now, but he would be
like 15 or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, I was gonna say he'd be
Yeah.
like a teen or a kid or something like that.
So but
So
it wouldn't rule out his master Tenebris. So like,
Tenebrous, yeah,
I mean, maybe we'll see. I
we
guess.
could, yeah, I mean, Tenebrous could be, yeah, Tenebrous could be one of the two Sith, but again, that book is still technically a Legends book,
Yeah, it
so
is. It is. It
because
is.
I actually started listening once I heard you guys were doing that breaking that book down on Tales from the Archives.
Yeah.
I just started listening to it, and uh, that's the first time I've ever listened to it, and it actually gave me an idea to do another what if
Ooh.
that I'm still trying to figure out. It's kind of combined just a little bit of what I'm trying to figure out
Uh huh.
is it's I'm combining that book and what we know from Tales of the Jedi and
Okay.
kind of putting it together because if Qui-Gon, it's essentially what if Qui-Gon survived the duel with Maul, like
Yeah.
if he were to survive it. And the thing I'm trying to figure out is is would Dooku still lead the Order even if Qui-Gon doesn't die there?
Oh, true.
So
True.
so I'm thinking he might still, but like I said, I'm still writing it, still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that's definitely that's definitely something I'm trying to do right now. So everybody
Nice.
keep a lookout for that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I saw something else that it's like, which I don't know how this is gonna work. I saw something that said it was gonna be like Frozen and Kill Bill had a baby
Oh
or
yeah,
something like that.
I saw something about that, and I kind of was like, that's kind of weird. So I kind
How
of just
does
ignored it and like, let me just go on with my day. But I saw
Yeah,
something
but
like that.
yeah, I
Like,
saw that. I
yeah,
was thinking, how's it gonna work?
yeah,
But it's anyways, I'm the last thing I'm gonna say is I'm really hyped about it. The only thing I'm worried about is the director of the show said
yeah,
like she said some really goofy stuff at
yeah,
Celebration and in other places. Not gonna get into it, but it's
yeah,
just
yeah,
I just give us good Star Wars. I don't care about any kind of message that you're trying to
yeah.
send. Just give us a good show.
Yep. No,
So
exactly. I'm right there with you. Just give us Star Wars. Give us a story that makes sense. That feels like Star Wars. That's all we want.
mm, and from the trailer, it looks like
It looks like it. Yeah.
it looks like Star Wars to me. So let's talk about what we decided to base this on. Our top 5 Star Wars memories. And
Yes.
since you are my esteemed guest, Tony, I will let you lead.
All right. So like when you told me this was the topic, I'm like, oh, this is dope. And it
Hmm.
was kind of hard to pick 5, but I think I have 5 good ones and they're all like kind of different and I have them in no particular order.
Yeah.
So are we gonna just go back and forth? I do one, you shoot one off like that?
Yeah, and we
Okay,
just kind of and I mean and we just kind of have a conversation about it. Just
bet. Okay, so my
so
first one is gonna be for top 5 Star Wars memories is gonna be seeing Revenge of the Sith in theaters back in 2005. So I have this memory like it was yesterday, bro. So 2005 Thursday, I remember I was living in Daytona. I was in college and I had a part-time job somewhere. And I remember I got out of work at 10 and there was 2 older dudes that worked with me and they
mhm.
wanted to go see it too because they were like OG Star Wars fans. So we got out of work at 10. We went right to the movie theater. And back in 2005, you had to wait till midnight to see the movie.
Yep, I
Not
remember. Yep,
yeah. So we were
I wasn't old enough to see those movies, like go
uh-huh.
see midnight releases, but I think I saw like Harry Potter in 2011
Uh-huh.
at midnight and like a bunch of other movies at midnight. So yeah, I get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so we got to the parking lot, we're hanging out, we're waiting for midnight to hit, we go in, and the cool thing about that back then is, like, you went in knowing how the movie had to end, like, you knew the
Hmm.
bad guys had to win, you
But
knew
how we're gonna
that
get there?
yeah, that Anakin's become Vader, but how does he get there? So, we went
Hmm.
in, watched it, movie's a masterpiece, we come out of the theater, we're just so pumped, it's like 2 in the morning, adrenaline's rushing, we're in the parking lot, playing with fake lightsabers, vroom, 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 like
Love it.
so pumped. So I'm just so glad and fortunate I was able to see that like at a good age, right when it came out, and like have that memory because like it was just such a special moment. And it literally feels like it was yesterday, but it was what, almost 20 years ago, 19 years
Yeah.
ago now, which is
Yeah, it's
wild.
crazy.
Yeah,
It's
but
crazy.
that's my first one.
I
Revenge of the
would
Sith, baby.
to riff off of yours. I remember this because I think I saw that movie. I think I saw Revenge like 2 or 3 times in theaters. I can't remember exactly how many
Yeah.
times, but
Nice.
I remember, and I'm like 12 or 11
Uh-huh.
at this point. So I remember when the opening crawl started. I don't know why it sticks out in my head, but it just does. These two
Uh-huh.
guys stood up in front of us and saluted during the during, during the crawl. And the one thing that I remember when the movie started was that like I was expecting a I was expecting the same like crawl that we would always get from every single one that we've got that
Yeah.
we every movie we got to that point, but then you just hear doom, 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 and then the Battle of Coruscant started.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just out of the gate,
Yep.
and I remember even back then when Order 66 happened. I talk about this in my origins, um, in my Star Wars origins episode
Uh-huh.
that even back then, Order 66, we didn't have any context from it as far as like why they did it, but
Yeah.
it still made me like question like why the clones doing this, what's going on. And then we got the Battlefront 2 explainer, which at the time was canon.
Mhm.
With the clones essentially just said, "All right, let's kill them, let's go." And then we got Clone Wars series with all the backstory about the inhibitor chips and what happened to fives and all that.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed Revenge of the Sith. It's definitely, I would say it's probably my fourth favorite Star Wars film, and it just with all the amount of lore that they built into that movie.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just I love it.
Yeah.
One of my favorites for a reason. So,
Yep.
but one of mine was this is probably my earliest memory of watching Star Wars. I don't know if you can see it, but right behind me I've got the golden VHS tapes.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Yep.
that's the original ones that I watched as a kid. Like the
Oh,
original like the
yeah.
So, I mean, that box is the reason I'm a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I remember watching the binary sunset scene.
Mhm.
This is I mean, I must have watched it a million times, but this must have been like one of my first times watching it. And I just remember being enthralled by the music, by the wonder of what I was looking at,
Yeah.
and just in awe of what was about to happen, because
Yeah.
it was watching Star Wars for the first time is something. There's something like I wish I could go back and experience had that feeling again. Like
Yeah.
watching it for the first time
Yes.
is just it's something different. Like when you first see the Star Destroyer go over Tatooine for the first time, it's
Yeah.
wondering what's about to happen.
Yep.
And I mean, that's the whole reason that we're here right now talking. So that's one of my most favorite memories is just watching the binary sunset scene for the first time and just
Yeah.
hearing the force theme. You just it and I go back to that scene so many times
Woo.
just to watch it because it's emotional. Like it just really is for
That's
me, you, and probably a lot of other people.
it. No, it is. And that's so cool. You have your original box set. So
Hmm.
when I was younger, my dad had the box set before that, the original box set, and
Hmm.
that's what I grew up watching the twin set for the first time. So like
Yeah.
Like I have like a connection
You
to
get to watch
box sets.
you get to watch the original
Original
originals.
cuts, yeah. So that's what I grew up on. And like I think like a year ago, I asked my dad, I'm like, "Do you still have those?" Because I bought a box set off eBay for the nostalgia,
Yeah,
but like it's not the one that I had as a kid. And he was like, "No, I don't know where they are." I'm like, "Damn it, it would be so
yeah,
cool to
yeah,
have that original one that as a kid, like this is where it all started." So that's really cool.
yeah.
You have it.
That's no, I can't remember how I got it from my parents. Like I think I think I was over at their house one weekend, and I just said, "Hey, can I take these?" They said, "Yeah, go ahead, go for it."
That's
So
awesome.
I mean, I'm gonna whenever I have kids, I'm gonna show that to I'm gonna
Yeah,
show
pass it
that
down.
to my kids, and then I mean, get them started. So,
Yeah,
um,
no, that's a good one.
well, yeah, my and to keep going, my second one
Uh-huh.
is seeing this is gonna be a little odd, but seeing Attack of the Clones in theaters.
Uh-huh.
That's this is another fun little memory. I talked about it in my Origins episode as well. I remember when uh, this is the first time I saw it in theaters.
Uh-huh.
I remember when Yoda was coming out to fight Dooku.
Yes, yes.
Like all the adults in the room like shushed. Like again, like I'm still a kid at this point,
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
not 9, 10, something like that. And all the adults in the room just went quiet.
Yeah.
Like you could hear a pin drop. And
Uh-huh.
then when Yoda then it ignited his lightsaber and started going after Dooku, a 9-year-old kid, me, yells out, "Go Yoda!" And I remember my mom like telling me to shush or be quiet or something
Yeah.
like that. So I just that was something cool to see that and to see Yoda at that point in time, like just go on the attack because at that point we never saw Yoda do
No.
anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was that was something I'm always gonna that's something I'm always gonna remember is just that memory of watching Attack of the Clones and just seeing the prequels in general in theaters because
Yeah.
I mean because back then 99 when Phantom Menace happened, no one thought we were going to get Star Wars again in theaters. And I like this it's so weird. I remember seeing um Attack of the Clones and Revenge in
Uh-huh.
theaters, but I don't have a vivid memory of watching Phantom Menace.
Mm,
I don't know if I was too young or
yeah.
what it was, but I don't remember seeing like I know we saw it in theaters, but I don't have a
Yeah.
memory of it, which is weird. But yeah, that's seeing Attack of the Clones in theaters was pretty nice.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones is so slept on. Like so much happens in that movie. You see
Hmm.
Django for the first time, you see young Boba Fett, Battle of Geonosis, and then you got that you see Yoda for the first time go off, which was
Oh yeah,
crazy. So I love Attack of the Clones, man. It's slept on for sure.
yeah. It's I mean it's been memed to death, but
Yeah, yeah,
I mean it's just I think that's just how it is. And I mean
yeah,
I'll it I'll put on I'll just put the prequels on just to watch them, just to have
yeah.
them
Oh yeah,
going it back as background noise because
yeah,
I mean they are Star Wars like that's what I grew up on seeing in
yeah.
theaters and it just holds those three films just hold a special place in my heart. So
Oh no, for sure. So my second one is it's more of a recent one, but like this
hmm
moment is just so special. Like it's up there, man, for me for Star Wars.
hmm
So for me, it'll be Mando season 2 finale.
and I was about to say I know where you're going with this. Yep, yep.
Luke Skywalker's return. I remember it like it was yesterday, man. So I wish I had my channel back then and I recorded my reaction because I was in genuine awe and shock because I didn't believe it. So
I think everybody was because
it was
not to
so
cut
well
you off.
kept. Yeah.
Sorry. it was nobody knew about it. It was
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing. I mean, they kept it under lock and key and buried it 6 feet underground. I mean,
Yeah.
because I remember something was going on. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't watch it when it premiered. My wife and I, my fiance at the time, we
Mhm.
had to. Something happened, and we couldn't. I don't remember what was going on, but we couldn't watch it live. So
Mhm.
it's like 2 or 3 days pass, and
Oh
I mean,
God.
dude, I'm staying off everything. And
Wow.
I actually see a post from Boss Logic that was Luke's silhouette, like the robe, his lightsaber, and I just went past it
Mhm.
because I just thought it was a cool graphic, and
Oh,
then
okay.
yeah, and then the episode happened, and it took like it took me back to being 5 years old. Like seeing him just run through those dark troopers and just cut 'em to pieces made me feel like I was like 5 or 6 years old watching Star Wars for the first time again. Just because, like you said, the greatest Jedi ever is in his prime,
Yeah.
back there, just ripping through things. So it was, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like when that episode dropped, I remember I woke up at 3 a.m. Eastern time, right? So I'm watching it, and then it's getting towards the end of the episode. So it's like 3:50 a.m., 3:45, and you see the X-Wing come in, and I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, who could it be? And then you see the silhouette walking down the hallway with the hood up. So I'm like, well, maybe it's Ahsoka. She was just in the other episode. It's probably Ahsoka. So then you see him walking, and then you see the glove, you see the green blade, and I stand up and I walk to my TV, and I'm standing there like this, like staring at it, like, oh my
Uh,
God, oh my God. And then it's like you see the green saber, and he's just going through the dark troopers, using the force. You see all this happening, and you know it's Luke, but you're like, "Is it Luke?" But
it's
you
like there's
know
no
it's Luke.
way.
There's, like, no
Yeah,
way that
yeah.
it's Luke, and then the door opens up, the reveals, he deignites his saber, puts it on his hilt, takes it off, and then we see Luke freaking Skywalker,
For the
and
first time,
the
it was
music changes, and, like, that just hit, right? Even though, like, that was, like, the first level of CGI and it's gotten better or whatever, in that
You're giving
moment
me chills right now, man.
exactly.
You're giving me
It
chills.
so in that moment, that was insane, right? And then he takes Grogu, and then when I kind of lost it and started tearing up is when R2 came out because I didn't expect R2. So when R2 came out, I was like, "Oh
And we
my
got to see,
god,
yeah.
yeah!" And
Yeah,
that final scene, seeing R2, Luke, and Grogu in the elevator, it was like this is unreal. It just blew me away.
it yeah, I remember watching the episode and Cara Dune when Luke when the
X-wing,
X-wing pulls
yeah,
in, she says, "Oh, one
one
X-wing.
X-wing,
All right. Oh, we're saved." And
yeah.
I'm over here thinking to myself, I was like, "That's gotta there's that like." I remember when I saw the X-wing, I was like, That's Luke. It has to
Yes.
be Luke." And
Yes.
then it just, dude, take me back. It's so good.
Yes.
But yeah, yeah, I mean, that's a great, that wasn't on my list. Mm, but yeah, I mean, yeah,
Special.
that's,
That's the Luke we deserved. That's the
mm,
Luke that I expected in the sequels that we didn't get. Like in my mind, that is Luke Skywalker, always
mhm.
and forever. Like that. That is Luke.
Yeah. The only thing that I will say, like, we just need a better explainer as to how that Luke
Oh
gets
yeah.
to where he is in the sequels.
Oh, 100%. Because there's
That's
nothing.
the and I think we're gonna see that in the Mando movie and in the Heir to the Empire movies.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
those two movies are gonna serve to fill gaps, but we'll see.
Yep.
My third one is watching my brother play through the first level of Force Unleashed. Um,
Bro, that game is so good. I just
mhm.
played it for the first time ever like 6 months ago. Blew my
It's
mind.
so good. There's a reason Star Killer is loved by literally everybody.
Yep.
So let me set the background here. So my brother got this. I don't know how he got it. I think he might have went to a midnight release or
Uh-huh.
like or something like that. But I remember he had it the day, like the morning of us going to school,
Uh-huh.
and we both woke up at like 6 a.m. So and he got to play it first. So I just sat there and watched him play
Ooh.
through the first level. Play through the first level as you're playing as Vader, going through Kashyyyk and just murking
Yes.
Wookiees left, right, and center. And I
Yes.
just like I remember going to school that day, and all I could think about was that game was going back and playing that same level on my
Yeah.
own and just feeling that power. And it's just playing Force Unleashed for the first time as a kid informs informed a lot of who I am as a fan
Yeah.
going forward. Like the next the next two things on my the next two things on my list, this and the next one inform like 99% of who I am as a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
And I mean, me and Grace talked about it at length when I had him on. I love Starkiller. I've even got my own theory that we could see him in Ahsoka season 2.
As the
He's
son.
no, yeah, well, yes, but let me get to it. So it's not Abeloth that's calling Balin.
Oh.
It's Starkiller. Let me if
Oh.
yeah if you watch my discussion with Grayson, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So it's essentially Vader and the Emperor try to take him on. They fail. They get their butts kicked,
Uh-huh.
and Vader says, we can't deal with this guy. What are we gonna do?" And Palpatine says, "All right, I've got a secret planet that's in another galaxy that I know about. Let's blast them there."
Yeah.
And they put him in that same like Jedi sarcophagus that we see Maul in.
Maulin. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they shoot him over there, and then like he can't get out, so he starts calling to Balin when he gets on
Peridia.
yeah, when he gets on Peridia, and this will make it a little bit
Ooh.
easier. So Balin, so they don't have to recast Ray Stevenson. We just see Balin's like he gets there. We see Balin's back, and he
Mhm.
just drops, and it's
Ooh.
and Starkiller takes Balin's
Yeah, yeah,
life
yeah.
essence. And what I was talking about, the reason that Starkiller is so powerful in canon, he is literally the physical reincarnation of the sun.
Yeah.
That's why he's so powerful. And
Oh.
and then he senses Ahsoka, he senses his sister's energy and
Yeah.
says, "Okay, I'm gonna go after this chick because last time I remember, she she's the one that took out my sister." So
Yeah.
and then we finally get Ahsoka Starkiller.
Wow, that would be
So
so cool.
I
I
don't
would
think
love
that's
that.
gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna
Yeah.
happen, but
That's too good.
well,
That's we would love
yeah.
that. Eat that up, but
Yeah, I mean, if there's one guy who would be crazy enough to bring him in, it would be Dave Filoni. So
yeah.
that's what I'm expecting. So yeah, I mean that's why I love Starkiller. He is my I mean it changes between him and Kyle, but he's my top two Legends characters for a reason because
Yeah.
he's a force of nature. So
Yeah, so Force Unleashed, I played it for the first time like 6 months ago. I was so late to that game, but honestly, it's probably my favorite Star Wars game just because the story is so good. So like,
I need to go back and I need to go back and play it.
yeah, it's so much fun. Such a good game. So my third one is from Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2022. So
Ooh.
it's from the Lucasfilm Showcase panel, right? So this panel, I think I literally almost cried 3 separate times. It just blew me away. Everything that happened within like an hour and 15 minutes. I couldn't handle it, right?
Mhm.
So we get into the panel and the lights turn black, and then all of a sudden there's a choir on the stage singing Duel of the Fates live. Duel of the Fates is my favorite song. So like to hear it live,
What?
a chorus there singing it, I was like, I was in the zone. I was hyped. I'm like, yes, right.
Yo, that's so
So
cool.
yeah. So they're singing Duel of the Fates, and towards the end of the song, out of nowhere, Ewan walks out on one side of the stage, Hayden walks out on the other, and we're like, oh, because like Hayden was a
What?
surprise. We knew Ewan was at Celebration, but we didn't
Yeah.
know Hayden was gonna be there. So they
Wasn't
come out.
wasn't that Hayden's first like reintroduction into into the fandom?
Yeah, with Kenobi. Yeah. So they came out. Then they invited us to come back that night at 5 p.m. for the world red carpet premiere of Kenobi for us in that auditorium to watch it with the cast tonight before it released on Disney Plus. So that
Mhm.
right there blew me away. And that's just the beginning of the panel. So
Yeah.
it starts off like that. And then we get into the panel and we get a bunch of trailers. I forgot what it was back then, but whatever. Like it might have been we got the Mando season 3 trailer first. We got this, we got that. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the stage lifts up, it rotates, and it's the John Williams band. John Williams is there with his band, and we're like, oh my god, it's John Williams. So
That is amazing.
he plays the Kenobi theme from the Kenobi show for us. So we're the
Mhm.
first to hear that new Kenobi theme. Then he does like Imperial March. He does Indiana
You guys get
Jones,
your own little John Williams concert.
which is nuts. That's like bucket list status right there, right?
Yeah, that's yeah. I yeah. If I ever got to see John Williams live, I would die a very
I
happy
almost
man.
I almost cried. So while he's so this it gets crazier. So while he's doing the Indiana Jones theme song, out of nowhere, Harrison Ford just walks out on stage to
What?
because it was John Williams' birthday. So he just came out to wish John Williams a happy birthday. It was
I
so
love it.
random, but
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
oh my God, Han Solo's right there. Like it was insane. And then I think that was pretty much it. Was there anything else crazy? No. So, and then the panel kind of finished with whatever else. But like seeing Hayden and Hewen, Duel of the Fates, John Williams, Harrison Ford, it was overload of joy. And like, I'll never forget that panel ever in my life.
You shouldn't. That.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely a bucket list. And I'm to be honest with you, I'm a little jealous. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That sounds like you had I mean, you had a blast. Which
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would have spontaneously combusted. I probably would have started crying. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I don't know how to follow. I don't know how to follow that, but you know what? I'll do my best. So my
Yes.
next one is playing the Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast games,
Mm.
and Jedi Academy when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like I said, playing those two games in between films and just what was going on,
Yeah.
it meant a lot to me. Not just because I enjoyed playing those games, but that was one of the last games. Not when I say this, it's gonna sound weird. My dad's still alive. Let me just say that it's one of
Uh-huh.
the last. It's one of the last games that I remember playing with my dad. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a we had it on PC, so it was myself, my brother, and my dad would just always play it at nauseum. I mean, one thing that and they gave me crap about this again. I was 9, 10 years old when I did this, so
Yeah.
I would always put it on the highest difficulty,
Ooh.
and then put in God mode, and then just go around and just slaughter
Yeah.
everybody. So it was again, I didn't want to challenge at 9 years old. So, but it just yeah, those games and those characters, um, uh, Kyle Katarn, Luke Skywalker, even Jaden Core, the guy that you get to play
Mhm.
as in Jedi Academy. It was just those games are more of I got to spend time with my brother and my dad
Yeah, yeah.
than
That's
than
cool.
than anything else. And I mean, I've I still think that's probably some of the best combat at the time that we got. And I mean, I would say it even still uh ranks up there with some of the best Star Wars games that we've gotten as far as saber combat goes.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about those games. I haven't played them yet, but they're both on my list. Like I want to pick them up for my Switch because they're like so cheap for like the 2 pack of
Yeah.
them. But I'm definitely looking forward to playing those because I hear nothing but good things about those
The
games.
the one thing I will say is in Jedi Knight, the first like 4 levels are a little
Hmm.
rough
Yeah.
because you don't get his lightsaber back until like a fourth of the way through the the uh the campaign.
Uh-huh.
So it's a little rough going out, but once you get the lightsaber, it gets a little bit easier. So
Yeah, no, for sure. So my next one, my fourth one, is another recent one. It
mhm,
was and like this episode of the show, it was just so special. And I want to say it's up there with the Luke Skywalker episode on
mhm.
how much it like impacted me. But Ahsoka episode 5 with
Shadow Child.
with
Yep.
Anakin
Mhm.
Skywalker. So like when we got that episode, we knew that it was going to be the Anakin episode because he was at the end of episode 4. So we
Mhm.
went in and we're like, okay, for sure we're going to see what's going on. Like, is this the world between worlds? And like I kind of figured we
That
would
had to
just,
be.
yeah, I kind
Yeah,
of
like when yeah, so go ahead, sorry.
so I kind of figured we would just get a little bit of Hayden and it'd just be like a full Ahsoka episode. No, that was a whole
It
episode.
was
Hayden, you had him in the World Between
it was
Worlds at the
all
beginning,
Anakin. It was all Anakin.
2 different Clone Wars flashback. Then it switches to Revenge of the Sith. Then he's in the Vader suit for a split second. Then he's back in the World Between Worlds, and you see him turn from light to dark, back to light, and
Yeah,
he's
it's just
still teaching
mwah.
her. Yeah, it was just
I love it. I
beautiful.
love it.
It made sense. It was the training that she needed, and it just I never thought we would get that. Like I never thought we would get that
Mm-mm.
much Hayden. We would get to see him in the animated Clone Wars freaking armor. We got Captain
It
Rex
was we
twice
got
in there.
Rex. Yeah,
We got
we did.
yeah. So that was just like at the end of that reaction, I was like, man, I can't even handle this. This is too much. Like this is too good. And
Yeah.
like it was nice that week like the whole fan base for the most part, like everybody was happy. And it was weird seeing pretty much everybody happy because nowadays
Because we don't get
we
that
don't
nowadays with the fandom.
no, we
Which my
don't.
next one, my next one, you'll like my next one. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that was because I remember I kept telling my wife like this is gonna be the best episode of Ahsoka. That like
Yeah.
this is gonna be it. This is gonna be the best one. And I just remember just see when we first at the end of the last episode when we see Ahsoka wake up in the world, like wake up in the world between worlds, I was like, that's the world between worlds.
Yep.
I know that location,
Yes.
and then I didn't think I'd see you so soon, Snips. it was
What?
it was yeah, and um that version of Anakin that we got to see in the world between worlds, just switching between light and dark, like he's turning on a light switch.
Yeah.
That's the like, and I've said this. That's the version of Anakin that Palpatine wanted. That
Mm.
like that version of that version of Anakin is who Palpatine wanted, but he didn't get.
Yeah.
And that's the same version that I kind of wrote in my my what if series. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've listened to it, but it's that version of Anakin. Like he's to the point to where he can go both ways
Yeah.
without being tinted by the dark. And I really enjoyed seeing him. Like my favorite part of that episode is when he's talking to Ahsoka, and then he turns to her, "I- incorrect," and then you
Yes.
and then you
Yes.
see then you see his eyes and the
And the
his eyes
red
go Sith
saber.
and the red saber, and then Ahsoka's eyes get wide. She's like, what am I supposed to do to right now?" That
Yeah.
he just and if you're
Oh.
paying attention, he's fighting like Vader. Like he goes from fighting like Anakin to fighting
Yeah.
like Vader.
Yeah.
And I just I hope we get it. I hope we see it again because I
Yeah.
just whew, yeah,
So
that
good.
was I love it. That's up there. I mean, because Anakin's my favorite character, and I mean Anakin Skywalker as a whole, like
Yeah.
Anakin and Darth Vader. I just oh, it was beautiful seeing him like that. And my last one is the last time the fandom was whole. Wasn't splintered, wasn't mad at each other, wasn't throwing poop from one direction to the other. Back when The Force Awakens came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Seeing that was the last film that my parent that's the last Star Wars film my parents went and saw in theaters. I don't think they saw Rise of Skywalker, and I don't think they saw The Last Jedi. I think they just stopped at TFA. But
No
I'm
Rogue
not
One either.
I think they saw Rogue. Yeah, I think they saw Rogue One in theaters.
Okay.
But I'm talking like Star Wars proper,
Oh, gotcha.
just the
Gotcha.
just the nine. I don't think they saw the other two in theaters, and it was really special just because my the night that Thursday before, um, I saw it with my friends, and this was at like set like 7:30 or 10 o'clock
Yeah.
the night before, and my brother saw it with his friends on that same night.
Hmm.
And I texted him after. I was like, "We're taking mom and dad on Friday. We're gonna do it." And it was before like knowing what we know now, what happened with the sequels.
Yeah.
At that time, seeing that movie for the first through the first well, the it was my second time, but seeing it with my parents was something I never thought I'd get to experience again.
Yeah.
And it was just it was really nice to see that in theaters with them, and just wondering and going back to TFA when it first came out, just wondering like who was Ray? Why is she so powerful? Like just
Yeah.
everything. Like I mean, all the Snoke theories that
Yep.
you saw pop up the minute this movie ended is just it brings a little tear to my eye just because that was the last time everybody was at peace instead of
Yeah.
how it
Yeah.
is now. So
That's when we didn't know the hurt that we know now, that we've been
unfortunately,
getting.
yeah,
But no,
yeah.
I enjoyed The Force Awakens. Like it was, I thought it was a decent start, and like I was so intrigued with Snoke. I'm like, is this dude more powerful than Palpatine? Who is this dude? I wanted to know more about him. And then
Mhm,
the
mhm.
cliffhanger, you have the cliffhanger of all cliffhangers ever, Luke freaking Skywalker. Like it was like alley oop, and it just fumbled. They just fumbled it, but man, yeah, that was a unique time. And then like the next year, Rogue One, it's like, wow, this is awesome. But then from there on out, it just changed the fandom completely, man.
Yeah, because I've got my and I'm not gonna go into it right now. I've got my issues with those last two films. I've got
Oh yeah, everyone does. Most people do.
serious issues with those two films and what they did to the characters, what they did to just the storytelling of because there's a way to tell those stories without doing what you did.
Oh yeah, of
So
course.
but yeah, I'm not gonna. We'll be here for another 45 minutes, so
Oh yeah,
I'll,
yeah.
I'm not gonna get into it. But
So
yeah, man,
it's
that was Go ahead.
Yeah, no, so it's funny because this segues perfectly into my last one.
Uh
So
oh.
it was another
Uh oh.
time where where we still had some hope, kind of, right? Some hope for some resolution potentially. So we're taking it back to 2019 Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. So I went to the celebration, and
Hmm.
at Chicago, it was the first reveal for the Rise of Skywalker, the title of the movie and the trailer. So back then we
I
kind of
remember
had
that. Yeah.
we kind of had a little hope, like, hey, maybe maybe the ninth one will close it up good. Maybe it'll make sense. So I remember I didn't get into the panel for the Rise of Skywalker, but my buddy Ricky did. You freaking bastard! So Ricky went to the panel, and like it's like he won the raffle to get in, so that's cool. He went. So I went to the main show floor to the live stage because like you could watch it there. They were playing it on massive screens at the live stage. So I was like, cool, I'll get to see the trailer at least, whatever. So
Yeah.
I went there, and there had to be at least 2,000 to 3,000 people surrounding the stage. So I'm in the crowd, shoulder to shoulder, surrounded by over 1,000 people, and we're just waiting for this trailer. So that trailer was fire. And when it hit for the first time, being surrounded by like-minded fans, like we're watching it, and then it opens with Rey jumping over Kylo's X-wing or his TIE Defender,
His TIE
Interceptor,
Defender. Yeah.
whatever it is, and then she cut it. And
Yeah.
we're like, oh, that was dope. And then like the trailer was cool. You see 3PO, you see Lando, and then we get at the end we hear Palpatine's laugh. And everybody went nuts because like nobody knew that was coming. Nobody expected that. So Palpatine's laugh, everything interrupted, erupted, and then you
Mhm.
get the title reveal of Rise of Skywalker. And when they showed that name on the screen, everybody went nuts. So like that moment, that energy, like I'm getting goosebumps right now. And
Yeah.
there's clips online, like IGN. If you search like the Rise of Skywalker reaction at Chicago Celebration, it's a massive crowd. And that moment I will never forget because like that energy at Celebration is unmatched, being surrounded by 1,000 of us like in one room.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah. That was. I can only imagine how like I've never been to a celebration. I want to.
Yeah.
I was actually, funny enough, when it was in Orlando in
2017.
Yeah. Yep.
That was my first one.
My wife was doing the Disney college program at the time.
Oh, okay.
And I was actually down there. I was down there the same weekend as Celebration, but I was at Disney World. Because I remember
Yeah.
we were walking in, I think it was MG. Yeah, we were walking into Hollywood Studios,
Yeah.
and I remember seeing a poster for it. It was like I want to be there. Like
Yes.
it was but yeah, I just I'd like to I would like to go to Japan next year,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know if we'll be able to make it, but I'm
Yeah.
still trying. We're still trying to figure it out.
Nice. Nice.
But yeah, it's crazy, dude. I mean, I can only imagine. The only place that I don't know if you're big into sports, but the only time that I've been in a situation like that was game 6 of the NLCS in 2021. Braves and Dodgers.
Oh.
When Eddie Rosario hit that home run to that eventually won us the game. I remember I went to go get my wife and I something to snack on, and I'm in the concourse with like 10 or 12 other just random dudes just watching as we're trying to get food. And then Eddie hits that home run, and when I'm telling you that whole place came unglued,
Erupted. Yeah.
it was crazy.
Yeah.
But that's really the only thing that I can really
just like that. Yep.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's just that energy. I want to feel that in a Star Wars Wars setting, because it just, I can only imagine how crazy that would be. But
just like that.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, those are some of my really, like, some of the memory, even the stuff that you talked about, like the Luke stuff. I mean, it's stuff like that I don't think a lot of other fans of different things.
Mhm.
I don't think a lot of people experience that. I think I would say the only other fans that might have that feeling are like Marvel. And I mean,
Marvel.
I can say from experience when I went to go see Endgame,
Ooh.
when Cap picked up
Ooh.
when Cap picked up the hammer,
That.
I saw it with my friends like
Oh.
on premiere night.
Yeah.
That is the loudest pop I've ever heard in
Oh
a
my
theater in my
God.
life. It was absolutely insane.
That moment,
But
and then when Tony
mhm,
said, "I am Iron Man," and snap, bro, the
yeah,
theater, insane.
and
Oh,
everyone started crying. Everyone
yeah,
started crying after that happened. But yeah, it's just it's stuff like that that as a fan I live for, like big
yeah,
moments that
yeah,
big moments that that people have their own stories on. Like
mhm,
where were you when the trailer for The Force Awakens dropped,
yeah,
or where
yeah,
were you when Clone Wars season 7 was announced? It was like, and at that point, and I've gone into this before 2020, I never watched Clone Wars or Rebels.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I remember seeing the Clone Wars trailers and thinking, "Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
That looks pretty cool." But I mean, of course, I didn't watch it. And then after Mandalorian season 2, I mean season 1, when we get Gideon with the dark saber,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that like what I knew at that point is I knew what Clone Wars was. I knew what Rebels was. I knew who Ahsoka was. I knew what the Darksaber was, but I didn't have any context. Like
yeah.
I knew who the characters were, but I didn't like have anything else. I didn't even know who the Mortis gods were back then.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So, I mean, I during the pandemic we just watched it.
all of it.
We watched all the Clone Wars, and then we watched all of watched all the Rebels, and I can say now, Kanan Jarrus is probably my favorite Jedi, if not one of my favorites.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's crazy what Star Wars means to me as a fan, and just kind of how it's formed the person that I am. I mean, heck, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here talking to you about it.
exactly.
So
And me too. Yeah.
it's to me, and I'm ranting a little bit. But yeah, man, it's just nice to be able to just talk Star Wars, and just be able to share experiences like that. So I just want to say thanks for coming on,
Of
uh,
course.
and I hope we can do it again sometime, man.
No, yeah, I appreciate you having me on, and I am always down to come on and talk Star Wars. If I'm not working and I'm
Let's do it.
free, sign me up. Just hit me up, because and that's why I love Star Wars too, because I meet so many cool people and make new friends like you, like
Hmm.
Grayson, like Beyond the Dune Sea, like Diamond Figs. Like I would have never met these guys if I didn't have the Star Wars channel and like
Hmm.
reached out to them or they reached out to me. So I just love it because you're just making friends all over the world. It's just freaking awesome.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, like I said before we started, I was a fan of you guys first. It was because actually the first guys that I remember watching, that I don't remember how I found them,
Uh-huh.
was Beyond the Dune Sea,
Yeah.
because I was looking for I was looking for podcasts to listen to for Ahsoka breakdowns,
Yeah, yeah.
and I saw that, I think I started on their Ahsoka episode 2
Yeah.
um breakdown, and I started following them from there, and then they talked about you, talked about Diamond Figs, talked about Mortis.
Yeah.
I started, and then that's how I started following all you guys, and
Yeah.
then I mean, one thing led to another, and I started my own thing, got connected with you guys,
Yes.
got on the YouTube where I am right now, and
Yep.
I mean, like I said before we started, I'm just grateful to be able to call you guys friends and to be able to work with you guys
Yeah.
and just watch you guys succeed and also learn from you guys
Yeah.
as well. So it was again, it was nice having you on, man. And
Yeah. Thanks.
welcome, dude. And guys, well, until next time, may the force be with you.